Hello friends, in this episode we'll show you how to perform a service on a Renault Koleos equipped with the 2.0 liter dCi engine. This is a fairly simple job, ideal for beginners. In the next episode we'll show you how to service the all-wheel drive drivetrain, changing the CVT transmission fluid and the rear differential oil, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel, it's free. For this service we need an oil filter, 7.4 liters of 5W30 engine oil with Renault RN0720 approval, a MAN-activated carbon cabin filter to block odors and harmful gases, not just dust, and an air filter of your choice. We also ordered a new drain plug washer because it's ideal to replace it, but in the end we didn't use it. The parts provider sent the wrong washers, so we reused the original one. First we go underneath the car and remove the under tray. Unfortunately, on the Koleos, the under tray is secured with many plastic clips, and due to age many of them will crack, so it's ideal to have a spare set of clips. We loosen the oil drain plug using an 8mm Allen key. To prevent oil from splashing everywhere, we use the cut plastic bottle as a makeshift funnel. After the oil drained, we reinstall the drain plug. We will torque it properly a bit later. For the oil filter housing cap we used an 86mm 14 flute oil filter socket. If you don't have one, you can use a universal oil filter wrench. We then let the oil drain from here as well. We then clean the interior of the oil filter housing with paper towels. We remove the old rubber O-ring, wash the cap with brake cleaner and then wiped it clean with paper towels. We installed a new O-ring and lubricated it with oil so it doesn't tear during tightening. We then reinstalled the cap together with the oil filter. First we tightened the cap with a regular ratchet and then with a torque wrench set to 25 Nm. We cleaned the oil filter housing area with brake cleaner and paper towels. The oil drain plug torque specification is 30 Nm. Always use a new sealing washer to prevent leaks. We had to reuse the old one, but we checked for leaks and there were none. To get to the air filter, we start with this 10mm bolt. Then you have two metal clips on the side that need to be released. Even so, there isn't enough space, so we also had to loosen the intake ducting. So we removed this second 10mm bolt, then these two plastic clips on top, and the third clip at the bottom. Now we can remove the intake ducting and set it aside, and remove the air filter housing cover together with the filter. The old filter looks fairly clean. When installing the new filter, make sure this alignment tab is facing upward. That alignment tab needs to fit into this channel when reinstalling the cover. Position the cover correctly and secure it by closing the metal clips. The intake ducting fits onto plastic alignment pins, so you can't really install it incorrectly. Reinstall the two bolts. Install the lower clip that secures the ducting. Reattach this detachable intake section and secure it with two clips. And you're done. If you also need to replace the fuel filter, it comes as a complete unit and is available in two versions, with heater and without. This one has an electrical connector, so it is most likely the heated version. This fuel filter, however, does not need to be replaced yet according to the service schedule. Now we move to the cabin filter, which is located under the dashboard behind the center console. MAN filters also include helpful diagrams showing the exact filter position, which is extremely useful. So first you need to remove this plastic cover under the dashboard. Then you need to remove two side plastic trims. This is the first one. The second trim is secured with a T25 screw. It seems that whoever replaced the filter last time did not secure the cover properly. Remove the old filter, which is quite tightly fitted, so installing the new one will be somewhat laborious and the working position is not very comfortable either. Installing the new cabin filter was a real pain in the ass, but we managed to do it in the end. To make sure the cover of the cabin filter housing won't come loose again, we found a screw and secured it with it. Reinstall the trims and the cover underneath the dashboard and you're done with the cabin filter. We added 7 liters of oil, then started the engine and let it run for about 3 minutes. We turned off the engine, waited a minute or two for the oil to drain back into the sump and checked the level on the dipstick. In the end we added the 400 ml more, but it's best to check the dipstick after adding the initial 7 liters so you don't overfill it. To reset the service interval, we used an affordable diagnostic tool from King Bolin. Honestly, I don't know if there is a manual reset procedure and I didn't look for one. In the description you'll find the link to this tool if you need a universal diagnostic tool. For DIYers, it's exactly what you need. You'll also find a more detailed review video in the description. Among many other features, it includes a dedicated service reset menu for a wide range of car brands and models. We found Renault, of course, and then entered the new interval for the next service. And that was about it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, a comment and of course subscribe, because in the next video we'll show you how to service the all-wheel drive drivetrain, changing the CVT transmission fluid and the rear differential oil. Until next time, we wish you all the best. Goodbye.